What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Tuffy Talk live show. We are excited to be here, 2-0. We're going to be getting all into it here for sure. You got myself, Layden Smith, Greg DeLeg, Michael Tracy just joining in with us as well. I know, Michael, you already gave us a heads up that voice might be a little bit scratchy, but I mean,
yeah,
not feeling 100%.
Caught something over the weekend.
Yeah, it's the worst. Well, with that being said, though, so again, we will be jumping all into breaking down the 35-31 win for NC State over Virginia. Great comeback win for sure. Excited about it, and definitely make sure any questions that you have or any topics that you want us to get into, make sure to throw them in the chat. We will get to them here in a minute. But with that being said, we talked about it, and obviously, we were talking about kind of when would be the best time to do this. And, at least for me, this was my thought here, but, first priority, football aside, NC State aside, whatever it may be, at the end of the day, got to give a shout out specifically to our friend of the podcast, one of the greatest guys we knew for sure, and Chuck Coates, man. And hearing his news of him passing away earlier this morning, I think Greg said it best that, a guy that lived an amazing life for sure, 3-time cancer survivor, got to live his dream being a professional wrestler, wrestling against some of the all-time greats and Sting, Lex
Andre the Giant, man.
Andre the Giant,
Yeah,
Hulk Hogan
crazy.
even.
Yeah.
I mean, what a great story right there, but even more having an amazing wife, fostering multiple children, getting involved with I think the Durham Rescue Mission, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, you
as
got
well.
it.
So I mean, and also as well, being at every single NC State event that he can, but especially his beloved NC State wrestling for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, Greg, you're specifically emotional here today, and rightfully so, man. So I'll hand to you, man. What specifically you want to say right now about Chuck, man?
Yeah, man, this is a tough one. He was a good dude, man. Gosh, he was a good dude. I just remember just getting involved in wrestling, and he just reached out like he always would. And he didn't know me, and just, hey, man, come out to wrestling. I was like, man, let's do it. And just a good dude. I can't. Yeah, go ahead.
No, man. Hey, listen, dude. Hey,
it's tough, man. But Jimmy V said it, right? Right? Jimmy V said it. Think, laugh. What was the other one? Live.
Cry.
Like that.
Think, laugh, cry.
Yeah. I think I've done them all, man. Done them all the last 2 or 3 hours. So.
Amen, bud. Yeah, no, again, just and honestly too, and I sure as heck hope that, you know, that his family and friends are seeing the enormous support beyond, way beyond just NC State, whether
Yeah.
it's the professional wrestling world, even rivals. I've seen, and we've retweeted multiple ECU accounts, even Duke accounts that have said,
Virginia
"Hey,
Tech. Virginia Tech
Virginia
reached out.
Tech, yeah,
Yeah.
saying,
Oh, did we lose him?
Oh,
Yeah, I think we lost him.
well,
my
oh,
fault.
no,
There you
I
you're
go.
good, buddy.
apologize. A little bit bounce there, but anyway, just just
Oh, we
can't say
needed that. We actually needed that right there.
we just can't say enough about him. But
Yeah.
Rusty saying, rest in peace, Chuck. Wolfpack Nation has lost to Jewel. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bob Moore saying Chuck always had a smile on his face. Absolutely. Always lived. Get.
He
Was
lived for
very,
others,
very.
man.
He lived for others, man, and also he lived for his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, which was
Absolutely.
phenomenal, man,
Amen to
and
that.
was very, very, very vocal about that. So,
Yeah.
but also too as well from NC State side, and I know we can all respect this. Is this one particularly shouts me, but Chuck talking about his man cave and showing it off, but look at that man cave, Greg. I
You're
mean,
solid, dude.
That's
So solid.
dude. I mean,
Dude.
like, look at all that. I mean, NC State from literally ceiling to floor, and
I
even
can't compete with that.
on the floor.
I honestly
No.
can't even touch
I mean,
it.
look at those old school helmets he has on
Yeah.
on the main
Yeah.
main dresser over there. But yeah, 2 TVs. Like he had I mean, and also just all the stuff there, man. The pictures, the Chuck Amato picture back there.
Yeah.
Just so much, man. And a huge shout out, man. Definitely love his NC State fandom for sure. But I do want to talk a little bit about specifically. I'm sure a couple things I know Chuck would be really, really proud of, and that is the outpouring from former and current NC State wrestlers, Trent Holiday, Tommy Gant, and even head coach Pat Popolizio, giving a shout out as well. Mourning the loss that Chuck is for sure. But and even saying that this upcoming season that Chuck will be honored properly, and I would expect nothing different for sure. I mean, I'd be hard pressed to think of another bigger NC State wrestling fan than Chuck Coates for sure.
There is no other.
Well,
there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. There is no bigger, and so
I mean, you think of like fans that support their sports, right? And you got Justin with baseball, and you got Chuck with wrestling, and there's other people out there that wave the flag for certain sports, and then they're kind of the quote unquote unofficial ambassador of that sport, and they just bring people to witness it. And like I was saying earlier before, I was super emotional. I think I got my stuff under control now, but like he never had to reach out to me like that, and I was laid up and I couldn't doing much, and he was like, dude, just come out to a wrestling match. And I went, and I got hooked. He sat there with me and walked me through. I was the biggest dummy. I didn't know nothing about wrestling. I was like, wrestling? What? And he just sat there patiently and talked it through, and just you could just you could just feel his passion for the sport. And like you said, I mean, he had I would see him, women's basketball, wrestling, baseball, football. I know I've probably seen him at men's basketball. If it had a wolf on the jersey or it said NC State, he was there. I mean,
yep.
He traveled just like everyone else does. I mean, he literally lived for NC State. It was NC State and his wrestling alumni people. I love following his journeys on Facebook when he did these reunions and these like Comic-Con things or WrestleCon things. And I was in awe of the people that he knew. And that was just his way of sharing, his life and the gospel. And he just, man, if there was ever a true servant, if you looked up the word servant, I would expect to see Chuck Coates' picture right under that word. And
Agreed.
he was, he loved his grandson, and just a great
God,
dude.
he loved his grandson.
Man, he loved Scoot, man.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, we love him.
He loved bringing his grandson to every single state event he could, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
and specifically too, Greg, I saw this tweet specifically from Charles Miller saying there should be a wrestling tournament at state named the Chuck Coates Invitational, and you vividly supported that for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that would be a way, and then, maybe turn over some of the proceeds to one of the many things that he was involved in. I think he could be a really great community outreach just to kind of keep his name alive, because if anyone ever deserved something like that, it would definitely be Chuck. And honestly, he would be embarrassed if we did something like that, because he did everything not to look for something like that. And I think this is just a good way to honor somebody like that, man.
Amen. I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm sure that Pop Polizio's already got some amazing things in mind. He's a stand-up dude for sure, and he knew Chuck insanely well. And so I can't wait to see it, honestly.
We have the amount of support. It was funny because I was just just retweeting stuff and liking stuff as much as I could, because his story needs to be out there, and stuff on Facebook. I can't tell you how many people I read that was basically in the same book as I were, same situation. Like, they never been to wrestling. Like, he was going to wrestling when there was 50 people in the arena, and now we've sold it out. He was part of that movement, and the program owes a great debt of gratitude to Chuck.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Said. And I think I only ever met him really in person once or twice. So, I mean, you guys obviously have said a lot more than I could say. But yeah, I mean, I knew the name, and he just lived an amazing life. It seemed like from the outside, and he was synonymous with wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, super humble dude. I mean, I saw a tweet today, or I don't know. I've been all over social media today. He always had he had a custom made Block S hat, and some guy reached out to him and was like, "Man, that hat's cool. Like, where did you get it?" He goes, "Oh, I had him custom made." He's like, the kid's like, "Oh, that would have been really cool to get." And 2 weeks later, a week later, whatever it was, it showed up on the kid's, I don't think it was a kid, it was an adult, and it had a handwritten note. And that's just who Chuck was, man. Like anything he could do. Winston Lohman, who's a big fan of the channel, he shared an autograph picture that Chuck did for him. Just, he would go out of his way for anyone and expect nothing in return. I mean, just the most humble dude that you will ever meet. If you didn't know him, you would never have known that he was a professional wrestler. He did USO tours, going over to do things for the troops. That's just who he was, man. And just, if I could live up to be half of the guy he was, I would be extremely happy of myself. And I think we should all strive to be Chuck Coates.
Yeah. I think you said it best right there, Greg. Wow. That was a great quote to end on there. And obviously Greg and I sporting our in-state Wolfpack wrestling gear today in honor of Chuck, and I know he would love and appreciate that, as even though it's not wrestling season, it's not too late to bring up that NC State wrestling is right around the corner, and it's going to be a fun season this season.
Hey, let's lead into this. Hold on, let's lead into this.
Yeah.
How cool was it, Alpha Wolf on Saturday? I think that's a great transition.
I wanted to ask you guys this, but was it the best Alpha Wolf maybe
That's
ever,
not
man?
fair. That's not fair.
Dude, the guys came out with their shirts off, man.
Shirts off.
I mean, we're full on, dude. Like that. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, only Pat Polizio and Vince Robinson, man. That was so sick. And
Vince
they were
doing like somersaults and it was so good.
Sick.
And then they actually honored Robinson after one of the breaks, and he did more flips. And I mean, come on, man, that was so good, good,
so good. Well, and also too, as well, is that so I mean, this kind of a side thing, and then but with Vince, is that I just truly hope that once again that between Chuck and Vince getting honored, that again even more NC State fans can come around and just realize once again that like that was a redshirt freshman that won that national title at 125, and we've never had a 125-pound wrestler win a national title. And so like
first freshman since 2018, I think.
Yeah.
To win a national championship. 2011, somewhere.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't remember which year. Can't remember which one of those it was, but it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Been a minute. And so again, hopefully that's just like, well, I mean,
and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he was like that was expected at all coming into the season. Like,
no,
it kind of came out of nowhere.
I mean, glimpses for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, a lot of the, I mean, like for example, I mean, the Tommy Gants of the world, some of the former city wrestlers I talked to, I mean, they told me, they said keep an eye out, they didn't necessarily say, oh, this guy's going to win
this year,
title.
yeah, right, yeah,
right, no. Yeah. So excited for it, but also too as well. I mean, just again, huge shout out to Pat Papolizio and Vince, and
it was so good. I was on the field. I actually got it recorded, and it was so good. I'll have to share it.
Well, and I hope too. Once again, it's like another thing to it is like that right there is what an NC State wrestling event is all about. High energy, man. Just balls to the wall, like crazy, hectic energy for an hour and a half straight. That's what NC State wrestling event is. So if you haven't gone, you're going to see great talent. You're going to see high energy. You're going to see competitiveness. Like, it's so much fun. Make sure to go. And also too, if you're not sure if you're going to go or not, Chuck Coates telling you right now, go to the NC State wrestling event. Go do it.
For Chuck. Do it for Chuck.
Do it for Chuck. Yes.
And
you own that.
You mentioned it, but the shirts off was just like, especially like from Coach Pop, because like, obviously, during the matches, he's high energy and stuff, but like, he's always like dressed to the nines. Like,
good
so
point.
for him to just come off, shirt off at the football game, it's like, okay, he's just letting loose now.
I was like, did that just happen? Like, that is the coolest. And look, I think they raised the bar for Alpha Wolf, man. Like, I'm
telling you, dude,
we've had some good ones. I mean, even like both the first two of this year have been bangers with Coach Wade coming out there and saying, beat ECU's ass. That was, a little different. And this one, and I think now folks are going to have to put a little thought in before coming out there to just say Wolf Pack. I think there's it's gonna be a little bit of a showmanship there.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. So it was a great way to start. And I'm glad that it ended with just as much high energy as it started with. But we'll kind of get all into it here a little bit. But Mike, I want to hear from you first, man, because I really do think that with this game, man, you're talking about a roller coaster. Just because, again, I think it was Joe Ovies who posted the picture of a NC State fans truck with a sign hanging off the back of it saying negative wagon. And so, right now with Doeren, NC State fans have definitely a lot of reservation for sure. Just frustration and things like that with him. So, I mean, dude, halftime, it was like, dude, I mean, I honestly wouldn't have been surprised if like every NC State fan left. Just that's how it felt. Just everybody was just like, okay, this is it. This is like Virginia is the team that took out O'Brien, and Virginia is going to be the team to take out Doeren. Like, that's basically what was the feel. But then it turned. So I mean, would you agree though that like at halftime, it just watching it and on social media, it just felt like we're done here.
Yes and no. I mean, I feel like the offense was they were still moving the ball pretty easily. So it was like, okay, it was just pretty deflating to give up that last touchdown to go into the half. But, the offense was still pretty, right. Yeah.
We'll get there. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's a whole other,
Yeah, we'll get there.
But I think it was just like giving up that touchdown. It was like, it kind of felt bigger. If we weren't getting the ball, that would have been tough out of half. But we were getting the ball. So it's like, okay.
A little hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we had been moving it pretty easily in the first half. So, I think we definitely had to come out of halftime and score on the first drive, which we did. And then it just, kept rolling from there.
Yeah. But get into it though, Greg, here a little bit. I mean, like, what was your feeling, from your side? Because obviously I sit on the opposite side of the stadium that you do. So what was your feel on your side of the stadium the same as it was on my end?
Well, I don't know if you remember. I had sideline passes for the game, so it was a little.
Dude, I'm sorry.
It was a little different.
Right. Dang it. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Well, first of all, here, you know what? Let's have some fun here a little bit.
Yeah.
We're gonna put a pause on that. Tell me about the sideline experience, man. Like, you know,
the whole thing was awesome. Shout out.
Yeah.
Like I did a video. I'll try to edit it this week. Short week going to Winston-Salem Wednesday.
Yeah.
We head out that way. Yeah, you know, did an auction through NIL Savage Wolves and had the pleasure of staying at the team hotel Friday night and did dinner with them, and then rode the team bus over on game day and did the Walk of Champions, and then had sideline passes for the game. So super awesome experience. Definitely shout out to Coach Doeren and the staff. And yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But hold on, sorry, I was getting some feedback, so I was trying to pause there.
Yep,
but yeah, dinner was awesome. Coach, the new safeties, Nichols, Charlton Warren came, sat with us. I think his last name's Warren. I hope I got that right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, just he came over organically and just had a nice conversation with him and learned some cool things that I can't share, but it was he talked about his experiences at Carolina, and they were interesting to say the least. And just he's a straight up dude. Anyone that doesn't know his story, Air Force grad, special ops, Air Force, you know, so just a natural transition into coaching, and definitely became a favorite of his just in the 30-40 minutes that we sat at dinner talking. But yeah, just an awesome experience all around.
Love it. Yeah. So make sure y'all, again, I mean, make sure you go support Savage Wolves, One Pack NIL. And if you want to be in on some amazing experiences like that, such as watching an entire football game from the sidelines, not just pregame. Go ahead, Greg.
No, best part. So we rode the team bus.
Yep.
And I sat next to, I honestly don't know who he was. And I probably should have, but he had his headphones on, and I let him kind of just do his pregame routine.
Sure.
But my dad thought he had to go sit next to CJ Bailey on the bus. And I was like, dude, why are you going to sit next to CJ? One of the other guys on the trip was sitting next to Noah, and I saw him after I sat down. I was like, oh, I want to sit next to Noah. Yeah, my dad had to sit next to CJ Bailey. And
good for him. Love it.
So he definitely got his money worth on the trip.
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, where else can you go do those kinds of things? Those kind of where the point is
right.
Sitting next to the QB1 on the bus and then walking down the Walk of Champions with them. It's surreal. It was really cool. Really cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now getting back down to brass tacks, so Greg.
By the way, to the point.
Yeah.
Watching a game from the sidelines versus watching it on TV or watching it from the stands. And I know you did it for many years being a manager.
Yep.
It hits differently, literally down on the field. Like hearing those pops of pads, and every tackle sounds like that guy is not getting up. It was just insane. I don't know how it was for you, Leighton, but that's how I felt. I was like, oh, is that guy gonna get up? You know, it just, it was crazy.
Well, as to the one, my one kind of piggyback question off that, and this will really determine if you really got the full experience or not. But just because I don't really remember every single play in my head, but did you ever have a play where you had a player coming down the sidelines and
Hollywood
get hit? Okay, and so was it close? Like, did you read it right? Like,
yeah, it was probably he ended up about probably like 8 to 10 yards away, but I was like, okay, where am I going with this?
Right.
He was coming in hot. I'm like, I'm not ready for I wasn't briefed on this. What am I supposed to do? Like, only thing
way faster than you are.
I was stop, drop, and roll. I was like, no, that's fire. That's not the right thing to do here. Yeah, it was pretty cool though. I was like, I saw his eyes too. I was like, oh, I saw the light. I gotta move. Yeah. It was cool though.
Because quick side story for me was during a spring practice when I think it was in 2015-ish or something like that. And so it was like one of the Saturday, closed scrimmage practices. And Matt Days got a toss sweep going down the sideline. And I was standing there, just waiting. And I think I was doing ball boy. So I think I was just waiting. And he was coming up sideline, and I saw the safety, I think it was Josh Jones, was coming at him like right at the sideline. And so my read on it was that he was going to hit him pretty hard. So what I did was I went further upfield to get out of the way of when he gets hit. Well, Josh Jones probably smart, and I guess I should have realized this being a spring practice. He didn't really lay the lumber as much as I would have expected, and so it's kind of a light tap. Well, so that light tap sent him just enough to go right at me, and so he took me out. And it was so funny that later that afternoon, all the graduate assistants were sending me the videos of it, and we're laughing and hey man, make sure you get out of the way next time. And I'm like, I was trying to, I thought I was, but
you thought you were reading it right, but then they kind of thudded it and kind of carried the play off. And
so I'm glad you didn't have to do that, Greg.
No, I wasn't ready, but I was ready to throw my dad in front just in case. Like I was willing to sacrifice him. I'm younger.
That's right.
No, it was awesome. It was honestly a truly awesome experience. So but anyway, getting back to the thing, you definitely heard some rustling of fans up above me. There was a couple boos. I know we'll talk about it when we get to the second half, but I want to talk about when we get to the point where we weren't conservative, right? And that always seems to be a knock. So keep that in mind, because I want to come
get
back
there. Don't you worry.
No, I want to come back to that thought, because that was kind of a grind my gears kind of moment for me. But I just thought that I honestly thought it was going to be like a 50-55 ball game, because the way it was looking that first quarter, it was like no one wanted to tackle the other or make a play.
First 4 drives are all touchdowns.
Isn't that crazy? So, but so I mean, so before we saw the non-conservative side of Doeren, we did see once again a frustration of a sort, where with 3 minutes left in the game, Virginia got the ball, and Doeren chose to not use any timeouts, take all 3 with him into halftime. And so a lot of the kind of pushback is saying, well, with how hot, even Michael said, how well the offense was playing at that point, why not use some timeouts just to at least see if you can give your offense a chance, even with 30 seconds left or something like that, and see if they can do something with it. It just seemed like it was more of a move for back 3-4 years ago, when Doeren had a dominant defense, which obviously doesn't have as much right now. So, but I mean, I don't know. Like, obviously, then days we're sitting here and we're going to get off this really quickly, because then day we made adjustments, we got the win, we played better in the second half. But I mean, Michael, I'll ask you here real quick. I mean, was that a huge frustration of yours, as much as it seemed like a majority of NC State fans would say it was?
Yeah, I mean, like, you always want to try and get that extra possession, but at that point, if you had called the timeouts, it's like I kind of see you don't want to stop the clock for them. You want to make them actually, run their offense efficiently to try and get to the end zone, which they ended up doing anyway. So it's like you might as well have called the timeouts to give yourself. I mean, we probably would have had, I don't know, 45 seconds to maybe a minute, which
is longer with 3 timeouts.
Long enough.
Yeah.
With 3 timeouts and the chains or the clock stopping between first downs. You actually have
but in the scenario, we would have used our timeouts to stop the clock. So we would have had no timeout, right? So we would have had 45 seconds to a minute with no timeouts to go 75 yards. It's like, probability is low, but it's more than 0 if you don't use them at all. So I don't know. It's one of those things. It's a bigger deal in a loss than a win. But it's definitely something. Maybe if there was a little bit more time, it kind of makes more sense. But
and so, Greg, do you have any comments on that, or do you want to finally jump to the good stuff?
No, I mean, I get it. If nothing else, too, like we were kind of getting gassed there a little bit as well with the heat. If nothing else, just even if you're not trying to be aggressive on the offensive side, just giving your defense a breather.
Right.
To maybe
you can't take your timeouts with you. So
So if anything, I would take it from the they were moving the ball. You need a moment because that temperature was roughly 92, 93 degrees, plus feel like was like right around 100, and then probably add another 4 to 5 degrees because you're on the grass and all of that. It's a little bit hotter down on the field usually. Yeah. So it was a toasty one for sure.
Yep. No, absolutely. So, but jumping on the other side of it though, and Michael, I'll ask you first. If I told you that a football team, if you combined offense and defense third down, so AKA how many third downs did you convert on offense? How many third downs did you stop the other team on defense? And I told you that team is going to be 19 for 26 on third down if you combine the two. I mean, that by itself is going to be feeling pretty good, combined with also the fact that also that team had 514 yards of total offense. I mean, I feel like that's a 99 out of 100 like setup to win the game, right? It's got to be.
I mean, it's a crazy stat. I've never seen a game like that.
No, it's crazy.
The defense, our defense was really good on first and second down, so we were forcing a lot of third downs, and then they just kept converting them.
Yep.
And conversely, on the offensive side, the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, we were really good on first and second down, so we didn't have a lot of third downs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like. It's not really explainable. It's just like it's just one of those things that that's sports, right? You can have a totally random, weird stat like that where 99% of the time that team's gonna win, and this was the one time we didn't, or they didn't.
I mean, to the point we were only 1 of 7, but on 3 of the scoring drives, we didn't even have a third down.
Exactly. Yeah. If you don't get the third down, like it doesn't matter.
Yep.
And then when you're only 1 for 7, but you're 2 for 2 on fourth, so really the 1 for 7 is more like a 3 for 9.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's funny. At halftime, I was trying to get in touch with the PA announcer upstairs and be like, "Hey, when it's third down for the second half, say Wolfpack Nation, it's second down." Like just don't even call it third down. It's not third down. Yeah. It's second down.
I mean, to think about it, they had almost. So I think they had like the long 60+ yard run. I think they had like another 40 some yard run, and then they had like a 39 yard run, all on third and like shorts.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's like I felt like we were selling out, and then they got to the next level, and then we were just in chase mode at that point. Like they broke containment, and we just didn't have a chance.
I think this week it was definitely worse on missing tackles than
way worse.
Necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, there was definitely a couple missed like assignments, but I mean, a lot of them. I think at least 2 of those long runs, you had people in the right spot to make tackle, and they just missed.
Well, I mean, that first touchdown by itself, 3rd and 1, you had literally Caden Fordham and Sean Brown make contact with the running back and completely whiffed.
Didn't wrap up.
Well, go ahead, Greg.
No, that was exactly the thing I was going to say. It's that, that we sold out for it, but even if you don't make the initial tackle, you get them at like 15, 20 yards instead of 35, 40, 60 yards.
Right.
It's just one of those things, the week before, I think we held ECU to 30 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
They got that on one play, and again, I know you're stepping up in competition. But to the point that you made, Michael, like we tackled much better in week 1, which you would think you would actually get better in week 2 for tackling, because now you've, gotten out of your system. You started hitting people, and more this so than you would do in practice. But it looks bad, but again, I still think it's fixable.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, because again, it's run defense is all discipline and will. I mean, it's all literally just I'm going to be in my spot where I need to be, and when the running back gets me, I'm going to invoke my will on him. That's literally all run defense is. Like it's all discipline, and it's all about just like, again, it's like tackling isn't rocket science, Now there's a technique to it for sure, but again, all these guys know how to tackle. They know how to do it.
Right.
Just get the job done. Just get the job done. So honestly, and this is my thing, Greg, and I kind of want to bring up 2 things here, but honestly, especially leading into Wake Forest, I actually love the fact that now I feel like because we really struggled tackling. We really struggled.
Better tackle on Thursday.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So because with Wake Forest, stop the run. That's literally it. Stop the run. You beat Wake Forest. It's as simple as that. And so I truly do think that Caden Fordham, Sean Brown, this defense, it's a get right game, and it's the perfect time to have a get right game.
Pride's going to show up this week, right? Tackling
Right.
is a pride thing. It's
Right.
it's an attitude. Like either you want to tackle or you don't want to tackle. And I think you're gonna see that they were probably embarrassed. Some of the guys were embarrassed by their effort. I don't know if it was effort. It was just lack of focus or whatever. I don't think it was effort. I don't think any of it was effort related.
No.
They just didn't wrap up. And that's basic football. And instead of trying to hit someone and knock their helmet off, just go make a tackle. It's not about hitting them hard. Just do fundamental things. The one thing it is interesting that our drives were very interesting. We basically had 2 drives of 9 plays with touchdowns, 2 drives of 5 plays with touchdowns, and then the rest were 3 plays and punts, except for one we had a 10 play punt. But it was just an interesting how the cycles of each of those drives went. Look, we made a play when we had to make a play, and we talked about it. It's 2 weeks in a row. You're putting a lot of stress on your defense. I will say that. And this one wasn't even on the offense. I mean, the offense went out and scored 35 points. It wasn't like we missed a couple field goals or didn't get a call one way. Though I will say that PI against, I think it was Grimes again.
Yeah.
And then they go and score right after that because they get a good
that was the last
return.
Yeah.
That was pretty rough. That's pretty rough. And then there was a play where there was a hold in the backfield, a couple of holds, and they got big plays off of those. And I'm thinking, dang, I honestly, I don't feel like we've gotten the benefit of a good call yet this season. And again, I hate playing the ref game. And again, we won both games, so it's really not that bad of a deal. So maybe we'll be on the good end and still win a game because maybe that'll go our way when we need it to. But man, these refs.
Yeah. Well, and to my second point, Michael, and which is another thing that I've loved about how these 2 games have gone so far is, like, I think I saw a stat where I think we're one of like 4 teams in I think it was ACC or something. We were one of very few teams in the country that are 2-0 with one of those wins being over a Power 4 team. And so I think honestly, like, I love how the season has started and the fact that you've played 2 formidable opponents, more Virginia obviously than ECU, and both of them were 1 possession games and were games that you had to show grit. You had to, just like you said, you had to put up or shut up. You had to make the plays you needed to when you needed to win the game. It's really as simple as that on both sides of the ball. So I mean, Michael, so do you feel like that this experience and seeing this out of your team so early is promising for what can come down the road?
Yeah, you can kind of go two ways with that. Like, ideally you come out and best case scenario is you blow out both teams.
Yeah, you hammer them.
If you're not going to do that, it's like, yes, winning close games, like, that's very hard to do consistently. So, your first 2 are close, and it's good to see that. I think a lot of people had us 2-0, I think, but Virginia definitely looks to be better than projected.
Absolutely.
That's a good offense.
That's a really good offense. Yeah.
They got some
they're no joke. Chandler Morris was all that and then some for sure. He was impressive.
Yeah. And I thought they did a nice job. Like, everyone talked about kind of Chandler Morris's ability to run, and you didn't see that till the 3rd, 4th quarter.
They took advantage of it badly on us.
They did.
Sure.
I mean,
they got us bad. They got me.
As much as we want to pile on Des Kitchings from his time here, he did do a nice job.
Better. Yeah,
he definitely called a good game. And they were right there to win the game. So I don't think it wasn't because they didn't have good play calling. It was interesting to me. I think the game really turned on that missed field goal, the 47 yard field goal, because then it kind of changed their strategy, if you will. Because if you hit that field goal, then they only need a field goal to win. Right? Is my math right there?
Yep. Yeah, that would have been. They would have just been down 1. Yeah.
Right.
So in that last possession, the
last 2 possessions. The last 2. Right. If you remember, we stopped them at the 8.
Went for 4th. That's right.
Yeah. So if you get that first field goal, the game is drastically different, and the game kind of turned on that because even again, like, I think this is where you can put this on kind of maybe Tony Elliott. he played right into our hands because, again, if you go kick a field goal even on the 4th and 1 from the 8, then you only need a field goal still on the last possession. So he kind of, again, a little coaching luck, but we still made plays. So there's that.
I'll chalk that up to some kicking karma from us last week.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
we didn't even attempt one this week.
Nope. That's the best way to avoid the problem.
Yeah, just score touchdowns.
What was y'all's thoughts on Vincent being out there?
I mean, I think we talked about it. I think that we kind of
expected it.
That seemed to be,
Is that who it was, Noah?
But
Noah,
he was the one kicking.
That was out there.
He was the one kicking the extra point. So I mean,
little behind the scenes, I heard on the sideline that the other guy was cramping. So I don't know if that had any play in that, but he was struggling. He was trying to stay loose a lot on the sideline. So I don't know if that played into it, but food for thought.
Food for thought. But
I like the just score touchdowns approach.
I love that strategy. Love it.
Just ask Kanoa to kick 20-yard field goals as extra points. Or whichever kicker. Don't matter. So, but let's really get to the graphic itself. That's really just gonna just send in-state fans just running for the hills here. CBS Conference Head Coaches of the Week, and who do you see right there under the ACC? That might be the old bowl coach himself.
What is his name?
Yeah.
Oh, Dave Doeren.
Dave Doeren. Interesting.
Yeah. And why do you think he got that?
I mean, for me, it's simple. I mean, it was a very different team in the second half versus the first half on both sides of the ball.
Well, I think if you ask me, the reason he gets that is those 2 4th down calls in his own territory.
Well,
right?
That's one. But see, like,
about Dave.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying different on both sides, not only in terms of performance, but in terms of attitude. Like what we talked about, at the end of the first half, a little bit of what seemed like a conservative approach, leaning on defense. But then all of a sudden in the second half, it was nope. I am so confident in my offense. I'm going to go for it on 4th and 1 on my own 28-yard line. Like, what? How about that? But go ahead, Michael.
I also want to say, I'm looking it up. I think he might have been the only ACC coach to win a P4 game in the ACC last year or last week. Illinois played Duke, but
and Syracuse played Connecticut.
And barely won that one. Let's see.
Yeah, SMU lost. Carolina didn't play anybody.
Yeah.
Stanford lost. Virginia Tech lost.
Boston College. Honestly,
you're right.
Boston College played at Michigan State. They lost in double OT, but that was pretty.
It was a heck of a game.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you're right.
He was the only ACC coach to win a P4 game. But
that's a good point. That's a good point.
You're killing the mood, dude.
Come on. Jeez.
But seriously, that
mute him like you did us a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
That 4th down call was big, though. I think that was
huge.
He did it twice.
I think it was a good recognition of, okay, defense is not going to win us this game like it has in years past. Like, our offense, we got to lean on the offense here. And 4th and 1, own 28-yard line, whatever it was.
Where was the first one when Wilson got wasn't it on our side of the field as well?
Yeah, I think that one was a little closer to midfield.
Yes, it was.
I'm trying to find it in the plays.
But I mean that last one, that was a ballsy call.
Huge. What and
especially when you brought in Will Wilson in, the plays that's coming more than likely. Well, and it almost didn't happen because that snap was just a little off. I was like, oh god, the timing.
Yeah. What and we got to give the hats off to Will Wilson, man. I mean, what a situation. Because I mean, think about it. Like, if that goes south and we lose the game, the whole season changes. The whole season.
They're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just punt the ball? It's funny, right? It's so funny when you make the play. Everyone's attitude changes. Like, hell yeah, that's a ballsy call. I love it, Dave. Go get him. And then you get stopped in the backfield. Like, what the hell was he thinking? He's a dumbass. But that's the same attitude we have whether the play is quote unquote conservative or not conservative.
Right.
Every play is not conservative until it is conservative, if that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah. Nope. No, 100% right. So, yeah, no, love it. And again, just super excited, for sure about. I mean, again, like we've really, at least to my knowledge, have never really seen this from Doeren of leaning on the offense. I mean, I think Joe Ovies and Julie, I was listening to them and they were talking about, how they asked, Coach Doeren, like, hey, are you going to be happy with winning games 35-31? And his comment was like, I mean, I'm happy with the winning, but he was like, I don't really want to give up 31 points and be really okay with it, But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean,
and that was the exact score this week.
That was the exact score. Yeah, no, Ovies really called it. Got to give a shout out to Joe Ovies. He called it on the spot. So,
go ahead, Michael.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I just kind of wanted to shout out Roper. Like, how many explosive plays did we have in this game? Like we have a lot of explosives. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays over 20 yards.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Well, and one man in particular though, which man, we've all been pretty high on him for sure. And I'm telling you all this right now. It's well, we'll get into it. Let me just share it here, and then we'll kind of get into the conversation here. But Hollywood Smothers,
dude, I have the best picture of this.
Yeah,
like I have a picture of the offensive lineman lifting him up. I got to pull it off my camera. It's a sick photo.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, please. But Hollywood Smothers is the first in-state player with 130 plus rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns in a game since Reggie Gillespie in 2018. And what did we talk about, Greg and Michael, before the season? Are we going to finally have our first 1,000-yard rusher since Reggie Gillespie? And barring injury, I think it's money in the bank. Like, dude,
he's on track through 2 games, right?
Yeah, was he got like 256 yards, something like that? I think.
Yeah.
260 something. Like I can't remember the number I saw, but it was looking good.
Yeah, I think it's closer more like 230, 240, but still.
Okay.
Either way, you're still way ahead, right now. And again, keep in mind that first game, once again, he got those 77 yards off of 85 yards after contact. So just keep that in mind. If he can get 77 yards literally all by himself, he's I mean, if he doesn't get 100 yards a game,
I thought he was gone. I thought he was gone on that 57-yard. I thought he was just going to take it to the house, and they finally caught him. I was like, gosh, dang it. But I will say that I loved seeing Duke Scott a little bit more this week than the previous week.
Good runs.
He had some good runs. He averaged 5 yards a carry, so you'll take that from your number 2 all day long.
Well, and that's the thing now too, y'all. And I know again, it's one sample size. Just like after first game, all we were hooping and hollering about the defense. So, obviously we brought back down to earth a little bit. So again, it's only one game, but I'm sitting here saying, I mean, the depth of wide receiver. Jolie didn't have his best game against Virginia, but
I mean, he had a couple of drops, but he had 41 yards, 4 catches.
Yeah, again, that's what I said. Just not his best game, but better games to come easily for sure. And also too, like Hollywood Smothers is all ACC, first team all ACC, and then some caliber right now. And Duke Scott is showing himself as a very reliable backup. So right now, and I mean, in offensive line, we haven't really talked about the offensive line, but man, like finally, what a game for sure. No sacks and
one penalty on the whole team
One penalty on the whole team, and over 200 yards rushing. Like offense is looking really, really good right now. So excited about it for sure.
So you were kind of talking about Jolie and the wide receivers. Bailey only threw 23 passes. Like they didn't. There was no need to throw the ball all down the field when you run for 200 plus yards. And he was efficient. He was 16 of 23 for 200 yards, a touchdown, and more importantly, no turnovers. And again, this is the second week in a row where he had to pick week 1. But still, taking care of the ball, no penalties, playing plus positive football where you're not beating yourself. So you definitely saw improvements, and you saw all of that against a P4 opponent, vice a group of 5 opponent. So you stepped up in competition, and you saw exactly what you kind of wanted to see and were hoping to see from your offensive line. And you're still seeing shuffling around. There's still guys moving around trying to find their best combo, and I would think that'll probably continue at least for another week. And then you'll see, barring injury, you'll see people start settling into their roles.
Yeah. I thought Bailey, I thought this was one of his best games, if not his best game so far. Like you said, his stats aren't jump off the page, but the way he was just so efficient with the ball.
I really want to see him stop running it on a design run. Let him get all of his runs through progression of reads, because he's at his best when he's doing that kind of running, not design runs. He just gets crushed. He gets crushed. I didn't mean to cut you off, Michael, but that's the one thing I just want to see less of.
I think that first touchdown was a design.
You think it was?
QB draw. I think it was. The second one was definitely a scramble, but that was wide open. Yeah. I think he just like. It felt like he took a big step from game 1 to game 2, and I don't know if that was just the defense, but that touchdown pass to Noah Rodgers, I mean, that was like perfectly right.
We'll show a clip of that.
Ooh.
I say you should show my video that we took. That was such a good, like, I mean, it was on a dime. I mean, it was just like a laser. And I was like, man, it was good seeing. It's hard to tell, like, after 2 weeks, like, who was the number 1 wide receiver, because I don't know if there's necessarily is one, and I'm okay if there isn't, but because they can, and we've talked about it before, they all can be number 1s, and I think maybe it'll just be a week to week thing, because who was your leading receiver this game? Was it Anderson?
I mean, I think Jolie led in receiving yards. But Terrell Anderson definitely was probably the top wide receiver.
Jolie had more receptions, but not yards. Terrell Anderson had 3 yards more. But to the point,
Anderson, I mean, that's a nice place.
Yeah, he really did some key grabs. That thing was just beautiful.
But you see that in the caption there. You see that caption there, Michael? Future first round pick.
I don't know about that right now. What?
I mean,
he's only 19 years old, and this is only his 8th game. Like, I don't even know it's even 8. I'm just kind of thinking again.
I think it's his 10th start.
Okay.
10th start. Yeah.
But
I mean, that was just beautiful. Like, just perfect drop back, 3 steps, stays right in the pocket, and boom, hits him.
And right over the safety. Perfect pass. And it was easy for Noah. It wasn't, a hard catch, nothing. Right in his chest. So,
but I mean, you see the pocket. That was a super clean pocket that he had.
It was. Hey,
I'm just curious. What down was that?
I don't know, actually.
No. Okay.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have.
I'll go back and look at it.
Yeah.
The point was I would love to see more first and second down throws instead of just kind of first and second runs, and then we kind of get into the must pass. I love being off balance in that regard. So that was the 3rd quarter, so that was 8 plays.
Well, hey, while you look that up, Greg, let me show you a cool little video here from Barstool's John Gruden here. Actually gave him a shout out, CJ Bailey. So check this out, y'all.
Oh, he did. I don't think I saw this.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought I was going to.
Our 5th sticker goes to CJ Bailey at North Carolina State. Did you know the Wolfpack was down 10 points to Virginia at halftime, and they came back, they win 35-31 to really kick off Kate Malisack. Bailey, he threw for 200 yards and a touchdown. He runs for 2 more touchdowns, and the Wolfpack is 2-0 in the ACC. Great job, CJ.
I love Gruden. He's
the best. He's the best. So that touchdown to Noah was 2nd and 9.
Yeah.
So
2nd and 9. Okay.
Again, still early in the down sequence. 27 yards.
But hey, real quick though, I really do want to ask a serious question though.
Be serious.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Do
y'all think that expert that picked the UNC quarterbacks above CJ Bailey, do you think he's maybe having buyer's remorse here a little bit?
We already talked about this guy. I cannot talk about him anymore.
But unfortunately, but now there's 2 weeks in a row that are making him look like it's
like he can't see.
It's not even a debate. It's not even like a thought. It's not even like a no. Nope. Like, is this white? Yes, it's white. Like, simple as that. I just pointed at my shirt, by the way. Like, yeah, it's white.
I mean,
done.
UNC Charlotte, from what I didn't watch the game. I hate watched the first week and I was good. From what I understand, like, UNC Charlotte had their opportunities.
Definitely. Again, well, I could go all day here about UNC bragging about, oh, it's the lowest amount of points that we've given up to an FBS opponent since 2000.
Charlotte, bro.
Yeah,
bro, did you see what App State did to them? Like, come on, bro. Like you literally scored a drive on you scored a touchdown on your first drive, and you scored 13 more points the rest of the game. Like, and you paid that quarterback $4 million. Just keep that in mind, okay? Like, anyway,
I'm not even entertaining, and I'm ready.
Yeah, we'll stop there. So
I'm moving on to Wake Forest.
We're on to Wake Forest. Yeah. But real quick though, I do want to address Michelle's question here. Thoughts about Jolie? Is he blocking more? And that's one thing I definitely have noticed. He's definitely in a lot more for run blocking, and I think this is kind of two things. One, a little bit more of disguising the play call a little bit potentially, but also part two as well is that we have heard as well that when he got back his NFL scouting report, that one of the things that NFL scouts love to see more out of him is better run blocking. And so maybe this is a little bit of the coaching staff giving him the opportunity. Now, with that being said, there's definitely a balance here for sure. And the fact that I get both those reasons, but I'm also saying as well as I'm like, I don't want him to get rolled up on, please. Like, right. It's just, like I not saying we can lose him, but I really don't want to lose him. Like, he's a preseason All-American, and rightfully so. So that's just my thoughts. But Greg, what's your thoughts on Jolie?
Yeah, I do like the fact, and we talked about this last year and then a little bit in the preseason. It's when you saw certain packages in there, you kind of knew how the play was going to go. And so I think if you can kind of do some more with your formations and not be so predictable, I think you can be more successful. And so you're seeing Jolie more to be able to be in on quote unquote running situations and passing situations where if he was in one or the other, you kind of knew, okay, if it was Dante, it was most likely going to be a run, especially if they brought in another offensive lineman. It's like, okay, this is pretty much a run heavy formation. This is what's going to happen. And I like the fact where, again, you can keep the other team guessing. And I think that's the key to being successful as an offense, is to not let the defense know and not be able to tip your hand.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, yeah, no, again, I mean, I think with Jolie, just like I said, not bad games from Jolie for sure, but just not what he could be for sure.
But again, we have so much talent. Like, they literally are spreading the ball around, and Michelle even said it, like wide receiver by committee. I think CJ, it's just a progression of everything. CJ's smarter. He's going through his progressions. He's finding the open person. We're not force feeding one person.
You don't need to. Yeah. You don't need to.
Yeah.
Well, and here's one thing too, as well, is I think that one play in particular that Jolie, especially last year, really made his money on was a play action wheel route that he would do. And definitely defenses have sniffed that out every single time that we've tried to run it to him. So I think that also plays into it a little bit as well, as that those were the explosive plays that Jolie had last year. But once again, I mean, I definitely have in mind, and he has it within his wheelhouse, like, a beautiful play action vertical seam right up the middle, split and cover two or something like that. I think that's, something that, could we make that happen with them? We'll see. But just like you said, like we're unfortunately / fortunately spoiled with options, for sure, which is a great problem to have. So, but also too, though, I mean, Wesley Grimes, 100-yard game coming up here against his old team, Wake Forest.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
I don't know. It's enticing. So
still Grimes coming on. Grimes coming on.
Yep. Now, I also too as well thought this was an interesting tweet here. And again, we won't even spend time on it. I just want to mention it. I just want to read it out loud. I just want in-state fans to be aware. And if we unless either of you, Greg or Michael, really want to make a comment about this, we'll just move on. But I just figured that I want to make in-state fans aware of this. Okay. So with that being said, from David Hill Joint tweet saying, remember AJ Morris? He was NC State's QB1 who quit midseason to preserve a redshirt year and transfer to really take advantage of his NIL value. He's now at Coastal with former NC State offensive coordinator Tim Beck as the head coach for Coastal Carolina, and is completing 56% of his passes, averaging 4.6 yards per pass, which is not good, with 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions.
I'm not a quarterback whisperer, but that's not good.
And a total QBR of 6.4.
Hey, by the way, you get 5 points for putting your name on the paper. So really,
and you see that comment?
You could get that low.
And you see that comment there from Andrew Gray? He said in an interview that was not his decision, but it was the Wolfpack that moved on from him, and that he had no hard feelings. So again, exactly.
Great.
Just
and I heard he was benched. I think I heard someone. I think I heard
3 picks and got benched.
How could he not? I again, not trying to. Just
look, I don't want to dump on the kid. I think he got some bad advice, and I know you said we weren't going to talk about it, but apparently we are. So thanks for bringing that up. But
it's headline. It is because I mean
it's sad to see is what it really is.
It is. It really is. I hate it
because he's going to go through life thinking what could have been, right? And from if you believe everything you read and hear, it sounded like it really wasn't his decision to make. It was more from outside noise, and I won't say who because I don't know. But that's even conjured. But
based off of the people around him who comments on social media, you can probably figure that out.
You can probably read the tea leaves.
Yeah,
right?
You can probably read the tea leaves. But also too, again, because keep in mind that if he had finished out the season, he almost guaranteed would have been the starting quarterback last year. Now, how the season?
Yeah, you probably don't bring in Armstrong. Who knows how you recruit?
You mean you don't bring in Grayson McCall? You mean
what did I say? Armstrong.
You said Armstrong. You don't bring in Grayson McCall.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Sorry. Nope. You're right. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, you probably don't bring in Grayson McCall, and then how do you do you go after a CJ Bailey, right? Is he still committed at that point if you're invested in Morris,
who still has 2-3 years of eligibility?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So just saying, but
he's got 2 more after this year, doesn't he? Technically, is that right?
With the COVID year, maybe
1, 2, yeah. If he 2022 he played, 2023 redshirted, and 2024, 2025. No, so you'd have one.
No, he's 1 more year left. Yeah,
1 more year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gosh. Yeah.
So again, just it's crazy stuff, but
everything always kind of works out.
By the way, let's move on from this.
Yeah.
Did anyone see? Speaking of still having eligibility, Cam Woods.
The
basketball.
Yeah, I saw. He's still looking for a team.
I was like, how does he still have eligibility? Anyway, because wasn't he on the Final Four team?
Yeah.
2
years ago, so he probably has 1 year left.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to move on from MJ. So
yeah.
I thought that was a good segue to do.
For sure.
Well,
speaking of too, wish him well for sure. But one thing I got a little chuckle at, I'm sure a lot of Penn State fans did, but Wake Forest coming out saying wear Black Thursday, and
for their funeral.
Well, I'm also, again, hey, listen, like Wake Forest, I don't fault them for this. Like, I'm not like, okay, like I get it, try at least say you're trying to do something here for sure, but. Again, I know I'm going to be there. My wife's going to be there.
It's going to be mostly red.
I know Greg's going to be there. Like it's going to be Carter Finley West for sure.
I'll give them credit. Like I don't know if you guys saw. I saw it last week, and I kind of wanted to just tweet it out and say, "Hey, let's go crash the party." But I don't know if you saw that Sports Center is going to be live from the Quad on Thursday. I think at like 1 or 2 o'clock. And I kind of wanted to all like the State fans just to go in, like just take it over. I thought that would be pretty funny, but some of us have to work.
Darn it.
Yeah. Again, I don't know how much we were going to get into the actual game itself, but I do know that it's been historically a team that we struggle against for whatever damn reason. And especially away. But look, while you guys talk, I want to bring up the last like 15 year and see kind of I would want to say that they probably are leading over the last 10 to 15 years.
Definitely.
But it's one of those, it's like how
right. Well, I mean, Michael, just thinking about recent history, last year, the Wake Forest game is the game where Grayson McCall's career fortunately came to an end. That was not a fun game for anybody, and that is not a game probably any NC State fans can be like, I want to go and watch back the NC State versus Wake Forest 2024 game. Probably nobody is searching for that, and probably ever again. But even like thinking about 2017, 2018, the all black where NC State wore all black, and that was the first game with their third string quarterback. I can't remember his name, the guy that ended up transferring to Georgia. Newman. Yeah, transferred to Georgia eventually, but and didn't play. So I think we were a double-digit favorite, and if we had won that game, you're looking at potential ACC, championship, potential 10-win season, and then I think it was the year before that, 2017, which was the famous Emeka Emezi fumble game as well. So Wake Forest has all but been a thorn in our side. So unlike ECU, Wake Forest has been an absolute thorn in our side in many realms, both home and away at the worst stages.
So the last 10, it's 5-5.
Yeah. I think Doeren was 6-6.
Yeah. So all time we're 69, 43-6. Home record is 38, 22-4. And even on the road, we actually have a winning record, 31, 21-2.
So interesting.
Yeah. But recently
that recent road record is like 2-9 or something.
Yeah, it's
not bad.
Yeah. We did one in 2023 there.
I was gonna say last time we played there, we won.
Yep.
I think this is a game. I don't think we have struggled there, but it's also been a combination of Wake having good teams and us having bad teams some years. Like this is
some years.
I don't think we've ever been this big of a favorite on the road there.
What was it? I felt like we had a good number in 23 when we won there.
23, I think it was only like 2 points or something.
Because remember that was the first year, that was the first game Brian Armstrong, so it was like how was NC State going to react to this kind of thing? So
we rolled them 26-6. That's how it worked out.
Yeah.
But also too, again, I mean, I think that with this game, and because a lot of times with Wake Forest, I think it's a little bit of not taking them fully seriously. Because a lot of times, we'd go in being the better team and knowing it. But I think with the fact that we're early in the season, we've shown a lot of grit and an ability to win. But also too with the fact that because again, it just plays out perfectly in the fact that NC State's defense is going to have a focus on making up for their lack of run defense. And against a Wake Forest team, that's all they have. And also too, this was a Wake Forest team that only beat Kennesaw State 10-9. But again, like week one,
they are them and Cal, the only teams to not give up passing touchdowns so far this year. So,
well, that's going to change.
I have a strong feeling that's going to change, and I put money on it. So, yeah, no, absolutely. And also, too, as well, I mean, hey, a little bit of Chubb's Chubb brother curse, right, with Brandon Chubb, Bradley Chubb's brother, being a star linebacker at Wake Forest. So, but, yeah, first-year head coach, I feel like – because I think also, too, especially for Doeren, is I'm hoping that he's sitting here going, listen, these 6 games – are completely winnable. Yeah. I mean, Virginia Tech. By the time we play them, they might
not have a new
head coach.
They might have an interim coach. Yeah,
that was tough. Man.
And I want to ask y'all too a little bit of
all those points in the second half.
A little bit of a side note here. I just feel like it's been a really weird college football year. Like there's just been a lot of weird losses. I mean, like Army lose, like Kansas State was a top 15 team, and they're a good team. I mean, Avery Johnson, we played against him. Like he's a good quarterback.
They're getting
Sunshine
Florida State,
but
treatment from last year. Playing Ireland, losing Ireland, and then have a terrible year after.
Yeah, losing Army, and then
Clemson almost
lost to Troy, almost lost.
Yeah, I mean they give them credit. They made some adjustments, but I don't know if they made that many adjustments or Troy just fell apart because it was a game until the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
and so Duke, the next week after Wake, they just got killed by Illinois, turned it over 5 times.
Mm-hmm. So, but I'm just saying, again, Virginia Tech, Brent Prize, all all but done.
That seat is on fire.
Nails, if Nails probably on.
Who do they got this week? I think they got
they got Old Dominion.
Yeah, they lost before. They lost them before. Is that in? I would assume it's in Blacksburg.
Man. I feel like it's in Blacksburg.
I don't know. It is. I was gonna say.
I would.
I'm just making assumptions.
If Virginia Tech, if Virginia Tech didn't buy out every single at Old Dominion game ever again, I mean, if there are any at Old Dominion games ever again, that Virginia Tech.
I think it was probably one of those 2-for-1s like you typically get with those teams. So I'm imagining this is going to be a Blacksburg game. But
yeah, it is.
Just if.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm saying like, and because here's my thing. I mean, think about Carolina right now. Right, what they're thinking. Think about Virginia Tech. Think about Bama. And there's so many more other teams which I'm totally blanking on right now. I mean, like Kansas State for sure is like what the frick right now, and so like there's so many teams out there. So that's why I mean, like especially this year, I'm sitting here like, hey, listen, we're 2-0, and we are in really decent shape. I mean, besides really Duke right now, which I mean, they're still a talented team. They still got a good coach, Manny Diaz. I mean,
they got to go Tulane this week. They could, they're underdogs. They're underdogs in that game.
Wow, so, Tulane's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Duke could easily lose at Tulane.
Yeah. But I mean, so again, I mean, I want to kind of, I know we're getting low on time here.
Yeah, so we're good. Just keep it going.
That's right. I know, right? But I want to get y'all's thoughts here. I mean, should more State fans just be happy we're 2-0? I mean, especially when you look at how the rest of it, like so many teams this year in the NCAA are like, what the blink right now? There's a lot of teams right now. They're really saying that right now.
Yes, but I think if you could just compare, I think I said earlier, comparing it to preseason expectations, I think a lot of people expected us to be 2-0 at this point.
Yeah,
I think and beat. And Wake, I think a lot of people still have that as a W.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we get to Duke and we can beat Duke and we're sitting at 4-0, I think that then we'll get a little bit of excitement. Like, okay, like beating Wake and Duke back to back on the road. Like, I know it's Wake and Duke, but like we've had good teams that have lost to those teams. So if we're able to do that back to back, start 4-0, I think there'll be a little bit more excitement. Like, hey, we may have something here. So
I've talked to a few people that like are hesitant on making some of these road games because they kind of want to take a wait and see approach. I know at least about 3 or 4 people are like that. And you're right. Fans should be happy that we're 2-0, but I think that because of how we've played in those 2 games and specifically on the defensive end or defensive side, that people are still taking a wait and see approach and they maybe see some quote unquote chinks in the armor that they're, or cracks in the dam, like maybe this thing could fall apart at any given time. Because again, you're putting a lot of stress on the defense to kind of hold people off at the end of games.
Sure.
But where I kind of want to go is we've seen this in the last couple of years, these close one possession games not going our way. And those were the difference of 6-6 seasons to 8-4, 9-3 type seasons. So again, in order to get to your magic number of 8, 9, 10 wins, you got to win these close games and you got to win the games that you're favored to do so.
Yeah.
And people should be happy with that. But again, we're State fans.
So. No. Well, and again, I think it's a team right now that from all the comments, from everything we're seeing, that I mean, they definitely are playing with a chip on their shoulder. Now, I think that there's definitely been a lot of rust and a lot of things that have had to kind of get figured out a little bit, like the offensive line rotation. I think now you're starting to see probably, especially with the fact that your right guard now is on the depth chart solidified. There is no or, like it's solidified. So I think that's going to be a huge benefit, especially during practice and preparation for
what was that listed as? I think I maybe missed that.
What do you know his name, Michael? It's unfortunately it's his last name, Smith.
It was Caden Smith and Youssef.
Yeah, Youssef. Yeah, he had a nice game on Saturday after Kamen went out. By the way, from what I've told, Kamen's doing much better. So I would expect him to potentially, most likely, be back on Thursday. The one thing we didn't talk about again, maybe we can go back to the game just for a second,
please.
Is how good Harsh and Sloan were again in this game.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're getting enough credit. Like those two signings, I think are the difference of being 2-0 and or 0-1 or 0-2 or 1-1. There's no doubt. Like the fact that Sloan was able to get out on that wheel route and undercut and then make the catch, coverage. Like huge. I mean, huge.
It was a terrible throw, but
it was.
But you still have to be in the position to make the play and catch it. Yeah, as a defensive end. Yeah, on a running back.
Yeah, I mean, just good, smart football heads up play, and that he could keep up with a running back because usually that's a mismatch, and you make that play. So just the
I think that's probably why they were trying to go after him because it's like probably I got my running back on my defense end.
They thought slow white guy is what they thought, and they were wrong. I'll say it. I'm not scared.
I just would like to see, I mean, those two guys, they're causing a lot of pressure, but neither of them have a sack. We only have one sack. It was from Fordham against ECU. Yep. So, you really got to turn up the pressure into actual sacks. And we've played two pretty decent QBs so far that are older. So,
we got beat a lot because we couldn't get the pressure. We got beat by. Virginia didn't really go over the top on us. They beat us mostly with their run game, and then they just death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah,
we were playing loose, and again, you would think, we talked about it earlier. That's a great strategy to make them go all the way down the field, but you got to get off the field at third down.
Right.
So you're okay giving up those dinks and dunks, but you got to, at some point, you got to make a play and get off the field. And so I'm not mad at how we approached it. Again, this was our problem last year, was making that one last play and then end up losing a game. But thankfully, we've made that one last play, get a stop when it mattered the most, and we're 2-0.
Yeah. We're 2-0. So and trying to be 3-0 after this week, right? That's all that matters. So, but
gotta stop Claiborne.
Yep, gotta stop Claiborne. But again, just do your job. And honestly, because again, too, like it goes back to not only just proving and just making right, getting that run defense back to where it was in week 1, but also too, again, this has always been a pride and joy of Doeren's, which is stopping the run. That's always been his MO from the beginning, is focusing on stopping the run. So just get the job done. That's all it takes here. But real quick though, got to give a shout out here to some other. Go ahead.
Before we do it, I know we don't have the official grind my gears, and I told you to remind me come back to this.
Yep.
What made me so mad after we Dave went, huge huevos to get the first down, that then we do the quarterback draw run and get a -3, and then I hear all the boo birds. That one kind of frustrated me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, you can't ask for him to be aggressive. He goes aggressive, and then kind of goes a little conservative, and then boo him. Like that just doesn't work. You can't have your cake and eat it too. That's just one of those things. So my one complaint from the fan base on Saturday was that sequence. And I get why you're mad. I get you don't go for it on 4th and 1 to then come back and maybe potentially run that play. And we were talking about it earlier. Like, can we stop? Like, just that's an unnecessary quarterback hit in my mind.
Yeah,
like, if you're gonna do it, give it to Hollywood. Like, just give it to Hollywood.
You're gonna run the ball in that situation. At that point, you're trying to get the clock down.
Absolutely.
That's the only thing that can beat you is giving them more time.
But that was my frustration on Saturday.
Yep. So
I just saw a tweet that said the new Wake Forest coach is trying to cancel classes on Thursday for the week.
I'm sorry, all the tickets are sold to NC State fans. So where are you going to sit?
Right. Well, and that's my thing too. Is I was like if we were talking about most other schools, I'd be like, okay, all right, we might be seeing a little bit of pushback here, but I mean, you're talking about probably what, 8,000 students.
It's a small. I don't think it's that. I think it's like 6,000.
4,500.
Yeah, it's like 6,000.
Yeah,
it's a really small.
Oh God, and probably only
how will we deal with it?
like, yeah, the 400 Wake Forest students actually care about football are going to be there. Oh my gosh, like brace for impact here. So
yeah, I mean, what is their stadium? I think it's only like 38,000 to begin with. I think it's
and that's the thing is they were bragging about getting the 30,000 after week 1, which is also like poor guys. Like, oh god,
that was
like,
not butts and seats either. That was tickets sold.
Tickets sold, and gosh forbid that all those people showed up to watch a 10-9 win over Kennesaw State. So
defensive effort, baby.
Defensive effort, baby. Let's go.
That was
That's right.
tweet.
Yep. But speaking of, though, got to give a huge shout out beyond just NC State football as well here. Giving a shout out here to men's soccer first and foremost, with a record-breaking crowd of 5,083 people, which doesn't even include either probably the people literally watching through the gates, the people watching from the top 2 levels of the parking deck, even their game versus Carolina. So I'm telling you, like, Coach Mark Hubbard and the staff, man, like, I mean, huge shout out. And I mean, and we had him here on the podcast and interviewed him and have said with very clear understanding that, listen, if he could be successful at the University of New Hampshire, he could be successful here. Simple as that, and he has shown all of that and then some here, leading NC State to a top 5 ranking right now in the country. And, so again, obviously wish that we could have pulled off that win against Carolina off a very questionable offsides call on the one goal that NC State had that got called back. But, at the end of the day, it's just still awesome to see, Wolfpack Nation rally so strongly around NC State soccer. But also too as well, give a shout. Carter Finley again sold out now for the 22nd straight time. Loving that. And also too, NC State women's soccer seeing the second highest crowd this season as well. So again, just love how more and more state fans, Greg, and I think you even mentioned this with the growing love and support with wrestling, but the growing support beyond just the revenue in sports.
Yeah, it's good to see, man. I mean, again, if you just, I think, the soccer's mantra there with the hashtag carry the culture, I think that's just a great way of just kind of getting that buy-in from your fan base. And soccer is a hotbed sport in the state of North Carolina. There's one of those things. So I would expect it to only continue to get better, especially when you start seeing the results that you're seeing from both the men's and women's soccer programs.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, make sure let's go and turn Wake Forest into Carter Finley West here this Thursday night, 8 p.m. kickoff. Correct, Greg? Did I have that right?
7:30.
7:30. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think the only 8 o'clock we have is right now is a FSU game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So 7:30 kickoff. Make sure
only
you get early.
Only game on Thursday night. So
other than NFL.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying, like,
no.
Hopefully we get some eyes, and I think if we can get a good result, we can then it's just it's a tie. It's like
it's like soccer, unfortunately.
It's like the guy from Bad News Bears is like kissing your sister.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the funniest lines from the Bad News Bears. Yeah, I think, with it, to Michael's point, I think if, you get some sets of eyes that are college football fans, it's a great opportunity to kind of go out and make a statement. And we did get one vote in the AP coaches poll this week, or I don't think it's the AP coach poll. I think it's just the coaches poll. So we did show up in the others receiving vote for the coaches poll. Yeah.
One vote.
It's a start. A start.
Hey, well, especially, I mean, you still got, 4 A+ opportunities here to get more wins. And so, it definitely could set up for a very interesting situation in that Notre Dame game for sure. But again, one game at a time, take care of Wake Forest here, get through it, stop the running game, and we win. Simple as that.
I would feel much more confident.
Yeah. Very, 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 very confident for sure. So, and also too, very, very confident in also too, if you want to put some money on CJ Bailey to have 1 passing touchdown, we feel very confident about that prediction as well here. But also too here real quick, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Michael, what got any score prediction here for me for Thursday night?
Yeah. I'll go.
Like, what do you want to share them?
Yeah.
I'll go 31-14.
Mm-hmm.
Wolfpack.
Greg, what you got?
What's the spread?
6.5. Yeah, 6.5, 7.
7.
Depending
All
where you
right,
go.
so 7. So first, I think we cover for the second straight week, which I don't know if we've done that in a while. I definitely feel good about that, especially as a road favorite.
Good teams
I
win,
think,
great teams cover.
Yeah, I think we get to at least 35 again. I can see us getting to 40 in this game, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna go 38-17.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you guys are both kind of all around kind of where my head was at, but I also too predict us to repeat and go 35, but 35-14. So I think Michael, you said 31-14.
31-14. Yeah.
Yeah. So 35-14 for me here. So with that being said, y'all, again, let's go and pack out Wake Forest here Thursday night. Carter Finley West. Let's make it happen. Get to 3-0. And also, too, as well, make sure to go support those other in-state sports as well. Got a huge opportunity this week here for in-state volleyball, who's looking pretty good this season so far under a new head coach. And also, make sure for us, if you haven't already, y'all, again, this is a fun thing. We love to do it every single week. So make sure to not miss out on any of our live streams going forward. To do that, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you're notified. Make sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and also to make sure to give us a 5-star review if you wouldn't mind doing that real quick on wherever you listen to us on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to us. We'd greatly appreciate that as well. And make sure to give us a follow Tuffy Talk now, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Greg, what's your comment here?
Yeah. I can't get a podcast in or live stream without talking baseball real quick.
Okay.
Be on the look for something coming this week. It's going to be a fun one. So just got to leave it there. Something related to fall ball. So I
related to fall ball.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we'll leave the teaser there, but just I think in the next 24 to 48 hours, you're going to probably maybe I'll just say sometime this week. I think you'll see it.
Okay. We'll keep an eye out. So with that being said, we'll leave it there, Wolfpack Nation. But as always, y'all, go Pack. And as always, beat Wake Forest, Carter Finley West, and also
red out, not blackout, red out.
Yep. And also too, love you, Chuck. Rest in peace, brother.
Yeah, buddy.